Hello and welcome back to goldstocktrades.com. This is Jed Hamwerder, and today we have with us a new special guest, Jonathan Eastblack. Jonathan is the the new CEO of Rockridge Resources, which can be traded as ROCK on the TSX Venture. Jonathan has 20 years experience in the financial industry. Most notably, he was the portfolio manager running the Canadian Equity Mutual Fund at Sprott Asset Management. And he also advised one of Canada's largest family offices, the Reichman International Development Corporation. And he's recently come on as Rockridge Resources CEO, and they just announced an expansion of a drill program for a very exciting copper project up in Saskatchewan called Knife Lake. Thank you, Jonathan, for being here with us today and giving us an introduction to your story, your history, and what makes you so interested in coming into Rockridge right now.
Yeah, it's my pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me, Jed. So there's a couple of reasons why a company like Rockridge is so interesting. And for your listeners, I think the first thing is that it's a very small company. We're trading it around, a 16, 17 cents or a $12 million market cap. And the market cap relative to the asset valuation of the company, specifically the asset value of its two projects, the one that you mentioned, the flagship Knife Lake copper project in Saskatchewan, Canada, and second, the Rainy Gold project, which is high grade gold in Ontario. The value of those two companies combined is significantly greater than the value of the company. So that's the first reason, asset valuation and the opportunity relative to its market size. The second thing is copper markets. About a year ago now that the pandemic was starting to wear on, and we started to see signs of continued stimulus by central banks. So stimulus on stimulus, and that's been an ongoing theme for the last 10 plus years. And what's happening now is expectations of inflation are increasing. I'm expecting devaluation of the US dollar, a dramatic devaluation of the US dollar over the next 5 to 10 years, and positioning myself in a hard asset play in a safe local jurisdiction like Canada with an excellent executive team and technical team that's available at Rockridge. It had all of the makings for a successful venture and a successful project for me to get my hands onto.
Jonathan, yes, and for U.S. investors, I did not mention the U.S. symbol OTCQB is RRRLF. The market cap is approximately a little bit over 10 million. And when you look at Rockridge and your copper peers, I mean, you're getting, with the resource that you have, you're already getting in even before the drill program. And we'll talk about the drill program coming up, but you're getting it for almost 2 cents total enterprise value per copper equivalent per pound of copper. Could you talk about the leverage to copper here with Rockridge?
Sure. So the best way that I can do that is I can point you to a table in our presentation. It's the valuation table. It should be at the closer to the beginning of the presentation for your listeners. The presentation is available on the website, the rockridgeresources.com website. And if you look at the bar chart, if you take your eyes towards the right side of that chart, you'll see a ticker symbol FOM, and that company is Foran Mining. And that company about a year ago was a 5-cent stock, so not much different than the Rockridge price is today. That stock is well over $1, and the reason for that is they are in a very similar geographic location to us. They're in the Flin Flon mining area. We are just to the northwest in Saskatchewan, and that company, Foran Mining, has had a very successful exploration campaign over the past 12 months and have made two significant discoveries in and around their project, propelling the stock well above $1. copper. So we really do believe that once Rockridge starts to show the results of the current mining program at the drilling program at Knife Lake, and a program that's expected to occur later this summer, early in the fall, we believe we will see a revaluation of the stock. So when you look at the company trading at 2 cents per pound total enterprise value to total resources on a copper equivalent basis, that compares to its North American copper peers in and around 11 cents, so almost 5x the valuation of Rockridge. But more importantly, if you look at its closest publicly traded peer, which is Foran, it's trading closer to 20 cents per pound. So almost a 10x valuation gap between itself and Rockridge. There is significant and substantial valuation upside that we're expecting once we start getting some catalysts and some news flow into the market.
And if you understand, the importance of copper, especially in geographically stable jurisdictions, you have here in Canada, some of the biggest copper districts, the Flin Flon district, right on the Manitoba-Saskatchewan border. You have a hydroelectric line that runs up right near the Knife Lake deposit, which already has a resource. And in 2019, Rockridge already hit results of almost 2% copper over 2% copper over 37 meters, beginning shallow, only 11.2 meters. So this is really what could be the next copper district in Canada.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. So there's a couple of really important things that you mentioned. So the known resource at Knife Lake, the Knife Lake deposit, is very close to surface. So that is a very economic deposit for open pit mining if and when a mining decision is made. The very, very interesting part about the story right now, one of the very reasons that I'm involved in the story, is that historically there was no regional exploration done beyond the Knife Lake target. So Knife Lake, as you said, has 200 million pounds of copper, just under 1% copper equivalent grade over its entirety, but nothing to the regional areas have been tested. We recently flew some airborne geophysical surveys and led us to a bunch of very exciting targets, notably on 4 to 5 kilometers away at an area called Gilbert Lake North and Gilbert Lake South. Those two areas is where the recent drilling program was just completed. So if you read the press release from a couple of days ago, to that point, 8 holes were completed of the program, 5 to 6 kilometers west of the known Knife Lake deposit. The target area was previously undrilled and has intersected visual indications of VMS style mineralization. This is the type of mineralization that we saw at Knife Lake. This is also the style of mineralization that some of our closest peers in the Flin Flon mining camp are experiencing. So the interesting part is that indications have been that is the same stratigraphic horizon as the Knife Lake deposit. Very little historic exploration that's been done at Gilbert North and Gilbert South. This is the first time we've drilled the area. And most importantly, this is confirmation of our thesis that this is a remobilized portion of a primary VMS deposit. Essentially, we believe that a new discovery has been made at Gilbert, and we're super excited to get results and assays into the lab and out to the investment community.
Well, it's an exciting time for Rockridge Resources, which can be traded as ROCK on the TSX Venture. Expanding the drilling program at Knife Lake. We know the success in Canada for the companies like Hudbay in the Flin Flon area, and this Knife Lake deposit, or what could be a district, looks similar geologically to Flin Flon, as Jonathan mentioned. So there might be some big potential in this program, but you've expanded the program, so you're seeing some great potential here. Could you highlight the upside potential both at depth here and for maybe finding additional deposits to the 200 million pounds that you've already found?
Yeah, so like I just mentioned, Gilbert Lake North and Gilbert Lake South have never been explored for. We flew that airborne geophysical survey, which yielded a number of very high probability targets. Those targets were just drilled, and there was very good visual indication of similar style of mineralization to Knife Lake. So if you extrapolate a 200 million pound resource at Knife, perhaps we're on the verge of making similar like discoveries in and around the area. We haven't released any of the drill results yet, so those are still pending, but are very excited to have a look at the mineralization and the contents of those drill results later this spring, early this summer.
And to remind listeners, copper is now over $4 a pound. It's gone on a significant rally in 2020. The electric vehicle market is a big driver of that demand. There is concerns of a shortage of supply, and there is interest in Canadian exploration for new copper deposits. So you can get more information about Rockridge by going to their website, which is rockridgeresourcesltd.com. You also can call their 800 number, which is 1-800-567-8181 for more information. You can also email them at info@rockridgeresourcesltd.com. Jonathan, is there anything else that you'd like to conclude with? And thank you so much for being here with us and for giving us an introduction to your background and the exciting story happening right now with drilling at Knife Lake.
Yeah, it's my absolute pleasure to get on with you and your listeners. The only thing that I want to leave you with is that we just closed a $2.5 million financing. It was a unit deal. It was well subscribed. Several family office institutional investors and very strong retail investors participated. So we're fully funded for what's been the recent drill program and for the balance of the year. So looking forward to getting those results out from Knife Lake to the market. Those are going to be the upcoming catalysts, undervalued story, and looking for a re-rating in the market.
Well, Jonathan, looking forward to some good news, and please keep us updated.
You got it.